Speaking now with Kieran Weeks. So, Kieran, you're touring the West and Northwest at the moment. Can you firstly tell us what's coming up in the tour?
Okay, so this weekend we're at Charters Towers there at Irish Molly's. Then we head west across to Cloncurry. We're going to be at the Oasis Hotel there on Saturday night before heading over to Mount Isa to the Overlander on Sunday afternoon. Then we slowly progress our way back down south. We've got a number of shows right through the middle of the state. We've got Tambo, Capella and Emerald as well.
So pretty wide area to cover.
Yeah. It's I see this part of the country as kind of the heart of the country. There's so many pioneering stories here that really resonate with me, and part of the reason I'm out this way is to actually produce a documentary series called One Town at a Time, which essentially looks at some of that history and the tourist attractions that should and do draw people to this region.
How did that idea come about?
Well, I've been touring around Australia now for the last 5 years or so, and I started doing little videos on my phone, and these ideas started to progress into a full-blown series, and a network out of the States that's is starting up in the next couple of years. One of the new streaming platforms picked me up, so to speak, and I'm now producing content with those guys. And ultimately drawing tourism to this state, looking at the tourism attractions is the main focus. It's basically a glorified tour diary of myself on the road, more or less. Yeah.
And I guess technology allows you to do it more comfortably now than lugging a lot of gear around.
Definitely, mate, definitely. I mean, the phone was good for what it was, but it's not really broadcast quality. So we've got a bunch of new toys that we're playing with, like the Fusion 360, to create that kind of augmented reality kind of content and the virtual reality kind of content as well as still using the trusty old phone when the moment occurs.
What do you find stands out about the Outback?
I love the isolation and the seclusion, the landscape itself. I've been out to this particular region 4 times now, and it's been in dire straits as far as the drought for that time. And whilst it's heartbreaking to see, there's also a harsh beauty to it all as well. The people, we're so welcomed everywhere we go. That's what I love about coming out to the bush and playing shows. Everyone's starved for entertainment, everyone's there for a good time. I mean, you don't make the trek into town to go to the pub unless you're up for a good time. And I love providing the atmosphere at those kind of events.
Yeah, that must give you some inspiration.
It certainly does. It certainly inspires all of my songwriting. There's a number of songs that I've written based upon particular stories or characters that I've unearthed along this journey. We'll be visiting the Stockman's Hall of Fame to get some more inspiration later today. Over the next few days we're doing some filming there. But one particular story that really stood out was the story of Captain Thunderbolt, the gentleman bushranger he was known as, Australia's longest escaped felon back in the day. He spent 6 years on the run, and he was the gentleman's bushranger. So I wrote a song about him called Honey Dripper, and it's inspiring to say the least. The single I'm promoting at the moment is called One Town at a Time, which is all about exploring this beautiful country of ours. I mean, the more I travel, the more I realise there's a million different ways to live your life. And you go out to some places and you wonder, why is anyone here? Then you have a beer with them and you realise, yeah, I can understand why you're out here, mate. It's beautiful.
Can you tell us something about your music?
Sure. Well, I always say it's kind of like being asked to describe your own face when you're asked to describe your own music. But I'm definitely a rock dude. I'm from Newcastle. It's where bands like the Screaming Jets cut their teeth, and that's the kind of music scene I came up in. So it's got a definite rock base that harks back to some like great songwriters. It's if a song itself is no good, it doesn't matter how good the voice is. You'll listen to it once or twice. But if it's a great written song, then you'll get multiple listens out of it, and that's what I try to do with my songwriting. Yeah.
Do you find your songwriting and your music evolving?
Most definitely, yeah. I mean, every time I pick up the guitar, I go, oh, I'm a little bit better than last time. It's all in the practice, and the subject matter and my understanding of not only myself and the world around me, but this country, there's so many, this area, like I said, is so rich for inspiration. Lots of pioneers have come out of this particular area, and it really captures the spirit of the country in a lot of ways. And that's something I'm sure my next batch of songs will encompass.
Yeah, so you take that back from your tours?
Yes, most definitely. And so I find it a little difficult to ride on the road. You know, you're on the go. But yeah, you come back with a swag full of stories that are the perfect inspiration.
What do? Do you write down the experiences as you go and then refer back to them?
I try to. More or less it's the video camera's going a lot of the time, so I'll review all the content I've done in a day, or when I go to actually sit down and do some editing, all those stories come flooding back to me, and in vivid detail because I've captured it on video, and reflecting on that content as well. Like it's all well and good to be in that moment, but when you reflect back on it and you start to evaluate that experience and how it fits into my own journey, that's when the inspiration flows.
And maybe a little bit of embellishment here and there.
Yeah, of course. Never let the truth get in the way of a good yarn, eh?
So you're in Longreach now. Where to from here?
So we spend the next few days here in Longreach at the Stockman's Hall of Fame doing some filming. We just did the last week at the Qantas Founders Museum. And so we're heading across to Charters Towers for a show this coming Friday night, before heading west again back over to Cloncurry, Mount Isa, and then coming right back through the heart.
And while we're talking, the ubiquitous fly hanging around.
Yeah. The worst case is up the road in Winton, I think, was the worst fly experience we've had. But it's been pretty tame compared to some of the experiences we've had out here, that's for sure. It's all part of it, mate, and I'm happy to be here.
Honey,